Hej och välkommen till Radio Respekt öppna nätverk, respektteve FaceToFace. Jag heter Ibrahim Miftar och idag ska vi intervjua en man som har upplevt en ganska svår tid i sin liv när det kommer till LVU-frågan. Och ja, hi.
Hey, hey son.
What's your name?
Jag heter Erick. My name is Erick.
Now, Eric, where are you from?
USA.
How old are you?
57 years old.
57. Can you tell us a bit about yourself? Who you are, where you're from, how your life was in your teenage years.
Yeah, when I was younger, I lived in America, and then I traveled a bit, and I finally eventually came to Sweden, and had high hopes for Sweden. A great place. I was invited here, and actually I was living in Gällivare, which is the Northland of Sweden, and it was just a great place. Really nice, beautiful place, nice people, and nice. The weather was very cold, but it was nice, and I met a lot of nice people, friends and things.
What made you think about coming to Sweden?
Well, I met one very pretty lady who invited me here, and I came on her birthday, and so I met her, and I came here thinking about a girlfriend, and so she invited me to the Norland. So
When was this?
1992, in around November the 28th, I think.
And you were...
Well, I had met her in New York City, Museum of Natural History, and we had actually been together for some time there. And then I stayed there a few years, but there was some problems with her friends and some alcoholism, so I had left. I came down to Malmo, and so it was just like, she was a bit beautiful, very nice. We had holiday together, but then I had met another girl in Malmo. So I decided to stay here. So because she met another man, and so it was,
How old were you when you decided to...
well, I was in my 20s, late 20s to early 30s, when I had met Linda, and then I had eventually come over here.
When you eventually came here, how did you live your day-to-day life?
Well, I just traveled around Sweden, and just I basically started to do some real estate, and to try to see if I could make some money here. And but I met lots of good people and just traveled around, and we had a nice time here together with the people, and visiting different places in Sweden and all that. And so then I came down to the south of Sweden, to Malmo, and I stayed here with one girl, and so eventually we had a child. So
And when was this?
about 22 years ago.
Okay. Now, when you got your child, how did you live your life after that?
Well, we had a great time and nice life and everything, but unfortunately, there was a lot of younger people and disco and alcohol and all that stuff. I don't drink alcohol, but we had a great time, and I love the mother, and my daughter and me were inseparable. We were out in the town all the time and having a great life, and I stayed with her for about 2 years, 2 år. And everybody in town knew me, and had lots of friends, and I was congratulated by the town. I have such a beautiful daughter, and such a great team together, and she loved me, and I used to put her on my shoulders and carry her on my shoulders, and we used to go to the toy stores, the Lake Sacker, and man, we had a great time. Holy moly, it was great with my daughter. It was like, we were like one. And me and also the mother was very busy, and she started to go do a job or something, and then and then she'd go out on the weekends and holidays, and she would leave the daughter with me. So I changed the diapers. I took care of the daughter. I feed her. I clothe her, and so I was just an extra. But we didn't really separate. We were together, right? But eventually, things sort of came separated because she wanted a bit of independence and all that. I went to America for a year to take money in a job to support her, to send back money and clothes and whatever I could find and stuff. But I couldn't live without her or my daughter, so eventually I came back anyway. So, yeah, to be with them, right?
Yeah.
Well, we went and we had to get a DNA test to make sure it was my daughter, and then of course we did other things such as take the daughter on excursions and things like that. But we sort of grew apart a little bit, but it didn't separate any family obligations. So she was a little bit more independent, right? She wanted her own apartment, and she told me to sign over the custody or something on a custody paper in case the plane crashed. So I mean, I signed over whatever she wanted me, but maybe maybe not the best interest. But anyway, so
how did what made you two wanting to separate?
Well, I didn't want to separate. I mean, a man doesn't want to leave a woman, especially a beautiful, no, I mean, nice woman. No. But I don't want to be having a relationship where you're just sticking together every minute, and in the person's hair. You have to give a break and space and all that. So I would just sometimes I'd go out traveling and just go around. But she sort of grew a little bit independent, right? And so it was, and then of course these there was some alcoholism in the weekends, not some, but a lot, but binging and all that stuff, and I was in a shock. But and then the little problems was like that. There was some problems with the sister and the mother. Okay, maybe he's not a good person, or maybe he's this or that, or there was some little animosity and all that. And so eventually that became more of a problem. So I started to think, okay, well, maybe if she doesn't, instead of getting into any kind of argument or something, I'll just take another place. We can still be together. But from there, I started to take the daughter. She put them to me, then back to her. Then things became a little bit monotonous. So then she decided to try to make a separation or something, or a departure. And then, of course, one thing led to another, where she had friends to support her. She ran away to Stockholm 2 years, and then, or a year actually, and then another year I didn't see. So they said, she said, you won't be able to see your daughter. I said, I couldn't believe that. So that's basically about the sort of separation. So I was in a shock, in tears.
Yeah.
Right.
How old was your child when all this happened?
Around 2 or 3 years old. So, but she was growing up. So then I had to go to the court, and because I wasn't, I had to, before the court, I had to get a lawyer or something, because I couldn't find my daughter. I couldn't find my woman, and she just ran away. I mean, that's incredible. And I guess basically she just wanted to be a bit alone, right? And she said, "Oh, thank you for giving me my daughter." But it was my daughter too. So I always thought that you could see your kid and all that. But when she ran away, she went up to Stockholm to visit her friends or whatever. But it was a plan against me. I didn't know that. And so she had hatched a plan to get more money from the social bureau. So that's when they hid all the furniture in the basement, said there's no furniture, he's not helping, he's not supplying any money. But I had sent money. I had money every month to give to her, from America. So, but for some reason or the other, she just decided to depart. It wasn't enough money, and so millions or whatever. So that was it. And then we had to go to the Tingsrätten and to the lawyers and to all of that stuff, right? So then what happened was she had taken her away from me, but I won the Tingsrätten, the lower court case, at least in the out of the court, to make the decision to be able to see my daughter, to have time sharing. So I won the decision. So then I started to see her only, but it was very difficult because the mother didn't have enough the time to show her the daughter. She would just she couldn't get the clothes, so they were very frustrated. So they got a social person to help, and then they got somebody from Norway to come, but he had problems because they didn't have the time correct or something with the Norway guy. Then they got into an argument about the Norway custody man between us wanted to take the daughter to the park, and they didn't want to let him take the daughter, and he thought it was outrageous that I couldn't see my daughter, that they were giving me all these problems. So I went to the Family Rights Bureau, the Social Bureau, and the Police Department almost every day or every other day in a vicious circle to try to find how I could see my daughter. And so that leaves us 22 years. I haven't seen my daughter. 22 years. So they said first case was very bad, the 14th worst case in Sweden. But it's the worst case today because it's 22 years later and I haven't seen my daughter. It's catastrophe.
Mm. How did you cope with the sort of difficult time of not seeing her?
I went to many judges. I had lawyers. I could name all the judges I went to, and they said, "Erick, just go and make something of yourself, make some money or something, and then when your daughter grows up, you have the money ready for her." And because these people, these social democrats or whatever, the judge told me that, and he said, just go make something of yourself. And so I made money on the side here and there, and I saved some money for my daughter, and I would like to see her today and give her some inheritance or make things right after what the Social Bureau, they tried in so many realms to help me in some respects, but it wasn't enough, and they didn't. I didn't get to see my daughter. Then I was delivering money through the mailbox. My daughter had looked through the mailbox. Papa, help me, Papa. Then they pull the hair, get the daughter back out of the babysitters or whatever. So anyway, that's basically it. And then the mother would go off with different men and take the daughter. And then when I had my family visitation rights, when I come to pick up the daughter, then they would curse at me through the door, horrible curses and vile curses that my daughter heard. And my daughter was wondering, where is my papa? Why is my papa not here? And imagine an American who protects Sweden, we protect Europe. We come over here, we have everything stolen, our dogs, our children, our pets, our cars, everything is stolen, our money, and it's terrible. I mean, to have all of this, and it's not just about me. I mean, why am I complaining about me? I'm just the worst case, but I'm a victim, but it's other people, discrimination against blacks. I saw lots of elderly black men, Swedish alcohol men. And why do they come to alcohol? They don't see their children. They were thrown out by their wife. And all these cases, these Flyktinger cases, can be helped. And how did I try to? Well, I have animals. I adopted animals. I put my love in animals because I said, well, look, if they try to steal, if the mother is in alcohol or whatever, she steals a daughter, feminist agenda, whatever. At least I can have some animals, right? They're not going to steal the animals. They stole the animals too. Mm. It doesn't matter which country, which government. But anyway, that's just how it is. You have too much of one thing, or you have or you have like a big house, or you have some money, or you're American or something. If you're a foreigner, a flyktinger, or you have a different religion, they can use that against you. So it would be nice if we could make a program in which the social bureau gives about a list of 10 things to do, and so we can make some type of a school to teach the parents, so they don't take the children away from the parents. And so that's one of my ideas. So anyway,
how old is your daughter today?
about 23 years old. I won't say exactly, but she's
and you still haven't seen her?
No.
Why is that?
Well, the mother was saying bad things about my side of the family: Hitler, Nazis, whatever, anything they could make up. They lied in the court. They said all kind of horrible things, et cetera, et cetera. And I mean, I'm really good father. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. You know, I went to military school, and I don't deserve this treatment in this country. Actually, they should be paying me $100 million in reparation if it was in America for stealing my child and making me go through 22 years of hell on this planet. So, I mean, and that money could be forwarded to the Fathers for Justice in UK, or some foundation where they can help restore the stealing or the taking of the children from families here. And it's just, you should never take children from families, or horses or dogs. That's the worst kind of thief ever. What you need to do is you need to try to help those families and learn how to, if these flyktingers or foreigners come in Sweden, they need to learn, okay, look, you can't have your child unless you do these 10 different things. The child has to go to school in the morning, the child has to be blah, blah, blah. They need to make out a list, right? And then we can open this place, and we can have the school teach the parents. They can get a certificate, and they don't take the child away. But if they're going to continue to take children away, they're going to have mass protests. They're going to have angry children. They're going to have people on drugs. They're going to have all kind of criminals in Sweden, and we don't need that. So we need. It all starts with the child. The child. And otherwise, why are you living if you don't have a family? It doesn't make sense. So what is sex for? It's not for prostitution, you know. It's for having children and making a family and making a strong country.
If your daughter was here right now, what would you like to say to her?
That I love her, and that I want to see more of her, and to hold her. And incredible. She was just a little baby last time. It's incredible, the horrors, the absolute horrors of humanity, and how humans can destroy each other on the planet with wars and nuclear bombs and machines, and steal each other's children. That's a devil. That's a Satan type of society. In America, we stand strong. We have strong family values. We have our children, our father, our mother. We have a strong country, and because they honor the family. And we have a jury. We don't have one judge up there deciding everything. We have a jury, a panel, and so we have justice. But okay, you know, I mean, we don't have a perfect society. We have a lot of crime and stuff. But so it's very important that you get to see your child. That's the most important thing. And if you need to have some kind of schooling, like if you want to get a driver's license, you go to driving school. If you want to be able to operate in Sweden, you need to know the laws, and this way the foreigners will learn the laws. We can have a school set up for that, and they get a certificate, and they don't steal the children. So we need to help people first, to teach them instead of taking the kids away from them. As far as myself goes, it was more that the social bureau didn't take any of my kids away. They just didn't help me. They didn't help me at all. Oh, we're going to help you get your child. They didn't help me. Then I went to the Family Rights Bureau. They didn't help me. Went to the police. They didn't help me. As a matter of fact, they did a police investigation for 2 years and found nothing. And the mother said, "Oh, he's a rapist. He's a killer. He's black. He's whatever." But I'm white. I mean, the outlandish, preposterous stuff. And I found out from my lawyer. My lawyer told me as well. And I mean, I could tell you that one of the judges, Chief Justice, and he was a good friend of mine, really good judge. Really, he was really nice. And he told me, look, just, it's not easy here. There's no jury. It's a social democrat. They own the place, and you can't do you can't see your children. Just go away and just make some money, make the best of it. And I was in tears for many years, right? After, I was crying for 2 years because the first girl was alcoholic. Then I came down and met the second girl, I won't say the same thing, but, and then I was crying for like 5 years. I want to see my daughter. So I have a whole box of tickets. I'd come back and forth and travel from different cities to see my daughter and all this. And so that's.
Well, I thank you for speaking with me today.
Yes, sir.
And I hope you all the luck in the future.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you.
And I will be seeing you. Tack för att ni har tittat och lyssnat på den här berättelsen. Vi avbryter här nu. På återseende.
Vänta lite, Erick. This picture is important for